I'm going to do a dried arrangement. And these are glued together with that mega sticky glue back there. And then because I'm doing a dried, I'm using Sahara. So this is Sahara foam for dried material. This is not the foam I would use for a permanent arrangement. So what I used in the other is this. Okay, so this, they say you can use it for dried, but honestly, this is softer stick for dried material. You can use this for dried material, but some of the dried material is a little more fragile. So this is like a John Henry permanent foam. This is what I used for the silk, for the permanent, still silk. And this is Sahara, okay? This is Sahara for dried. There's Sahara 2. That's for silk, but this is Sahara, normal Sahara. And then this is another dry foam for silk arrangements. Okay, so what I've done is glued these 3 together. I've got a little wedge of the Sahara right here. And then I'm working with the foam below the lip of the container. I don't have to put the foam above the lip of the container, especially if I don't have anything that needs to drape out. If I did, I could raise it up, but that's also more I have to cover. The last piece is going to be my favorite piece for a lot of reasons, but anyway, dried material. I used to hate dried arrangements. Dried arrangements are making a comeback because we have such amazing product. So I'm going to start with some bleached product. And if you go across onto the fresh side, you're going to see some really cool bleached ruscus, which is really popular. So this is date palm, bleached date palm stuff. I can still cut it. I'm going to create a very vertical design. So this would be something that you would have like, on an entry table or something. But I'm also going to, I'm all about strong line. So strong line is my love in design. I'm going to design this backwards, so I'll still have to turn it around. But I also want to create movement. So how do you create movement when you're doing really strong line? So I'll show you how to do that as well. So I have some moss that I'll be able to cover, and then I also have this enhanced Spanish moss. I say it's enhanced because it is not naturally this color. So we'll be able to stick some things in here, but I don't necessarily want to see it. That brown color does disappear quite nicely. I'm going to put a little bit on top of this, or I can always tuck it in afterwards, and then I've got some down there as well. I'll probably just throw that in afterwards. Okay, so I've got that palm, but I want to create depth in the design. So I'm going to repeat this over here, but I'm going to cut it down just a little bit. So I still got that palm going on over here. The bleached product is not as brittle as some of the dried product. I mean, not that that's... So I've got that palm. I've got some really cool pampas grass from Accent Decor. Going to get a little free form in this. I'm still going to use my knife to cut it. But you can, in the Sahara, it just goes in so nicely. I'm going to do more like a vegetative design, so everything is sort of like it would be growing in nature in these clumps. How many of you have not used pampas grass? Everybody has used pampas. You have not used pampas grass. We have one wedding venue that has now banned pampas grass. Because they have these fans, these giant fans, and when they have those on, oh my gosh, it's like a snowstorm of pampas grass. You can spray it with hairspray, but sometimes even like you'll have fresh pampas grass, and as it warms up, you can spray it before it goes out, and then as it warms up, it just blooms, and then it's like whoosh, snowstorm. Okay, so I've got that. I have some black bearded wheat, which I love, and the same things that we talked about I'm going to create a big mess over here. I hope that's okay. Same things that we talked about in color contrast and textural contrast, we're still going to do that over here too. So I'm going to put that bearded wheat right in front of my bleached palm. And I'm just cutting in big old clusters. Hope this looks okay. And then I have some stuff. It looks like it's called Ceteria, I think. I don't know. It's cool. It's dried. I like it a lot. And it's also a bleached product. So this is going to be more, it's still the same color as that date, but because it's a bleached product, but it's a textural contrast against that date stuff. This whole area back here, I've not seen this cool a collection of dried materials, and I can't tell you how long. Very fun to shop for dried stuff. So I'm going to turn this around real quick. You can see the back. Ooh, I like it. Okay. And this is where I can have some things that are sort of spilling out to the sides. And then by putting that piece back there that I just put back there, I'm also creating a nice depth. So even though it's shorter, it's a really nice depth in the design. Okay. Bell cups. Love the bell cups. Big contrast in size, texture as well. This probably won't cut as well. Ooh, look at that. And because it's bigger and I need weight at the bottom, I'm going to put these like here. Now it's where we get a little bit difficult to see. Ooh, I like that. Okay. And then we're going to put some of these down in here. Now when you're working with your foam below the lip of the container, you just need to be conscious when you're cutting your stems, not to cut your stems. But you could see it would be an absolute waste for me to fill that up all the way and then design in that. So, okay. I'm just going to make that sit right at the lip of the container. I've got these green lotus pods. That's going to repeat this green that's in here. Frosted lotus pods. Flocked lotus pods. They're not really frosted. And these are also larger, so I'm going to weight those closer to the bottom as well. Glitter. And if that happens, that's okay. This is going to be buried down inside there. No one's going to see it. Cool. I have the sponge mushrooms. This is from Knud Nielsen. Knud has some awesome product, and you have a lot of it right here. I like the back. We're going to add some of this in here. You just have those shelf monk. I don't have to use them just in that, but I do like that, like they're growing on a tree. I could use them like this. I'm not gonna. Maybe later. Actually, I'm going to put some out this side back here. And that's more of a depth thing as well. I got to be really careful how I insert them. Okay, so I've got my shelf there. I'm liking the way it's looking. I'm going to add some more down inside in here. So this is going to be a lot of basing. I'm going to just cut this really short and have more of that spill out the side. I like to stack these boxes. I just think it's fun. And like I said, you can buy these containers. I can buy these containers. What separates you from me is what you do with what you've got. So I'm just going to add a little bit of that. This is where I might take stones too. And if I take some of this, this sheet moss, and I just tear it off and layer it down inside there. I've covered up my mechanics down inside there, but that's where I might take stones and layer down in so you really get visual interest. I don't want to do that until I'm done designing because it's not as easy to stick through. But I might take some of this bearded wheat and put that down there as well. Okay. So everything is still in clusters. Okay. Now it's very straight. It does have a little bit of play and a little bit of movement. But one thing I add is really going to make this line change from static line to more of a dynamic line. So static line is going to be, one that's pretty straight, rigid, and then you'll have dynamic line, which has a lot of movement and motion. So, but first I'm going to add these in because they're super fun. Little bleached craspedia. What do you call these? Thank you. Because some people call them by another name, which shall remain nameless. Do what?
Drumstick.
Oh, drumstick? No, drumstick. Billy balls.
Billy balls. Oh.
Can't do it. Can't do it. It's craspedia. So I'm going to repeat this over here somewhere. Let's do it right here. This is one of those really cool dried products. So this whole thing is going to be dried. Like I said, I'd pop some stones down in the base of that. Okay, so now here's where we move to pretty static to dynamic line. I'm going to turn it around so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to put some more of this moss down in there, just tuck it in. This is one of my favorite vines. This is kiwi vine. Oh, absolute hot mess. Should not have done the dried second. It's okay. So the toughest part is getting it untangled without breaking it because it's all this twisted, gnarled, very cool. But you see how it by itself is its own dynamic line. Okay. So now I'm going to look at the branch itself and figure out what is the best position to use this in that's going to give me the most line. Herein lies the difficulty. I kind of want it to track all the way through. And this is where the asymmetry part really comes into play. I'll turn this around before I get all of it in. I'll turn this around and let you see kind of which direction I'm going, if it behaves. Not behaving. Okay. Almost. I'll almost turn it around. Now I'll turn it around. Maybe. Almost. Okay. Ooh. You see what I mean by it draws, if it's strategically placed, it's going to draw your eye in to the piece and make your eye flow through it. That's what that dynamic line does. questions? I have a hot holy mess back here. It is a hot mess, but the last piece is my favorite. So just give me 2 seconds to transition between hot holy mess and neat tabletop. Okay. So good? Yes, good? Okay, cool. I'll move this over here.